Alright, what is up everyone? I heard you like All Dungeons. We've got more coverage of the A Link to the Past All Dungeons Restricted Major Glitches tournament for you today. We've got azder facing off against caznode in the losers round 2. So this will be a beautiful match. Before we start here and switch to the game scene, I do want to just do a couple quick announcements here. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, today. I misread the line there, but today, in like 2 hours from this match starting here, we will already have another match. We're gonna have Czech Seaman facing off against ACM LM. So that's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central European Summer Time in like 2 hours from now. And tomorrow we've got the ZSR sub-goal reward where Tress will play Link's crossbow training. On Friday we've got the OOTR Multi-World 3 vs 3 tournament, the grand finals with Richard the Dog facing against Hugh Club. And on Sunday we've got the Ocarina of Time Max Random Glitch Logic Race. So I just want to quickly shout that out before we switch to the games in here. But with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to today's commentators, which are going to be Encoser and Parfy Duck. Say hello. How are you two doing?
Yellow.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. So today's gonna be a good race. We've got two. I've seen. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I believe I've restreamed this matchup before, but I'm not too sure.
Honestly, I don't remember if they had. I don't think they were in the same group together.
Azder was in Dow's group.
Okay.
So it might just be my memory, but yeah, today will be a good race. Looks like we're all starting here, getting ready to ready up here. So I'll let you all know when all the stuff I shouted out before the start of the stream. I'll let you know of the exact dates for tomorrow and Friday and Sunday. At the end of the stream, or you can check the schedule with !schedule. But with that being said, good luck, have fun to the races, and I'll pass it on to the commentators today.
Yep. Like George said, this is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. All dungeons restricted major glitches. Losers bracket match between azder and caznode. So whoever loses this match is out of the tournament. Whoever wins keeps their run alive, going on to face some of our other lovely competitors. I think they're going to be facing up against Greenham.
Yeah, Greenham.
Yeah. It looks like we're just getting started. How are you doing this afternoon, or I guess evening, Duck?
I'm alright, hanging in there. Should be a good one. Basically, kind of the way we got here. Azder got put down in the losers bracket in the first round against Josh, and then won his first losers bracket match against Shady. Kaz won his first match, lost to Doomtap, and is now in this bracket.
Kaz probably one of the bigger upsets, though. Really, with once we get into the bracket stage, upsets kind of become hard to really quantify. All of our runners are fantastic runners, and anyone can beat anyone. But it was Kaz taking out Fricker, the 4 seed, in the very first round. So got some nice runners showing off their skills for us.
Yeah, Kaz with a low 111 PB. Maybe still looking for that 10th 110. Kaz. One of probably could maybe get it next. We'll see. We'll see if anyone gets it. We're kind of getting late in the tournament here, and I think everyone's going to take a break once this is done. But yeah, I mean, winners bracket is already down to top 8. We're after this with these last few matches in the losers bracket today. We're going to be down to 8 in the losers bracket as well, so like top 16 overall. Pretty much everyone who's left, I think it's pretty much going to be all 112s and above after this round, depending on who exactly wins this match. So there's a lot of great runners. There's really any match can go any way, even with some of the top guys. This category can get a little wild. So
absolutely. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we might be on a little bit of a collision course coming up here. Not too unlikely of a scenario for us to meet each other soon.
We, as in you and I.
Me and you, bud.
Yeah, I know we when I was putting my predictions to get my bracket predictions together, I know we collided at some point, but I think I had you getting beaten to shreds by Zero Rush.
But Zero,
so-
yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
if you know, if all the matches go chalk, then we'll meet each other in 2 rounds.
Yeah. But yeah, just normal escape shenanigans, rescuing Zelda, doing our nonsense. Not really too much exciting going on in the first bit. So, how's life been, Duck? You been watching anything? You've been playing any sweet games? I saw you were grinding some Chaos in the Windy City.
Yeah,
probably the second most prestigious game that you run.
Yeah, after throwing a couple AD runs myself, good old. You get past Helma, and then you run into a Moldorm hanging out on the left side, and it's time to put the game down for a few hours. So,
yeah, that was shade to Super Metroid, by the way.
I thought that was shade to Captain Novolin.
Well, no, I mean, Captain Novolin is the most prestigious, so it goes. Captain Novolin, Chaos in the Windy City, Link to the Past.
Then SM. It's the order
like
games.
a giant cliff, and then Super Metroid.
Yeah. Well, you know, we all can't be the best at the best games, I guess.
About these two runners' play styles, I feel like both of these runners are pretty standard in how they run. Ooh, as they're getting beat up in Snake Room, some real kind of annoying pattern. Already down to half a heart. If he takes another snake hit, we are. Ooh, if he takes anything.
Oh God. Yeah, we don't want to see a death this early on. There's not really a place to get a heart. Like you could have grabbed
the last spot
early.
The last spot was a pot earlier. Maybe honestly, I haven't really looked around in like the room that azder just walked through. But yeah, you see he's playing it very, very safe. Just random swipes out whenever he sees anything that's going to be in his way, because it would be a very unfortunate death.
I was kind of going back to play stuff. Azder, speaking of SM, Azder plays a lot of SM. Has been in a tournament with that as well. So hasn't been playing this category as much. Azder, world record holder in low percent, plays a lot of like the randomizers too, especially the combo randomizer. So he might not have like all the detailed knowledge that some of the other top guys, but his skill level is just really, really high.
Yeah, he really likes to. I think that he's someone who likes to push sort of the boundaries of like the hardest things that you can do, because like he's is he still the world record holder in Super Metroid Impossible?
In Impossible, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So across multiple games, playing some of the harder categories, the low percent in this game, the true low percent, I guess you could call it, because there's a low percent legacy. The low percent in this game, you have to play through the entire game with 3 hearts, and you got to do this trick to make sure that you don't actually pick up a heart over and over and over again. It's really annoying and just kills your run. So yeah, looking like we are seeing a little divergence here. We got Kaz doing the optional first major glitch in Citrus. Let's see how he handles it. Pretty good. No, walking too high there for Kaz.
Gee, I didn't even know. I thought you were
off.
Yeah, I thought you were reacting to Azder getting hit by the Armos there. One of the kind of underrated things with Citrus is it lets you skip that overworld, especially like we've said before, 3 heart Eastern. Not really scary, but like anything goes wrong, then it's a problem. The most likely place for something to go wrong in Eastern is actually the overworld. So just being able to skip the overworld, especially when you're doing it with 3 hearts, is a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, but Kaz showed us there's kind of this weird. It's a pretty big window, but you do have this weird little scenario where whenever you get up on top of the ledge initially, you do have to move a little bit up because otherwise you'll just jump off to the side. But if you move too far up, then you'll sort of jump diagonally up and off instead of doing the screen wrap thing. So we saw Kaz make it up top in a pretty good time, but then accidentally jump off and have to redo the citrus.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a minimum of 1 up. I don't know what the maximum, but sometimes you just like accidentally put it for too high up. You're a little reticent to also then go back down because you just might actually end up bumping into the transition point.
Yeah,
and failing it that way.
Yeah, you can. I believe if you hit the actual transition, you're still up on top of that ledge. So I think you can just walk back up, but obviously it's time loss, and you're not wanting to deal with that. Ooh, Kaz having some issues here.
Yeah, this is the other kind of like tricky part of a 3-heart Eastern. You really only have one shot at this trick. That's a trick that both these guys have done hundreds of times, but it can just be. There's a lot of stuff in this game. It's just like missing an input by a frame or something, and just really throwing you off, which is one of the reasons people tend to get a little frustrated after grinding it for so long. But a little bit of back and forth here early on.
Yeah, both runners having some. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Technique.
Issues.
Yeah, issues with their spots, but nothing completely killing their run yet. Ooh, an unfortunately missing those arrows and then deciding to go back for them and almost eating a anti-fairy to the face.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back from definitely you can get the ones before double readies, but part of the problem is like you're so used to just picking up the pots.
You have a routine, and when the things go off the routine, your brain just goes, all right, let me just sort of get myself fixed with the routine.
I have not seen bottom right Armos in
ages.
A while.
I'm trying to think because I feel like I've done some azder comms, and I don't remember him doing bottom right.
Yeah, I mean, I watch azder enough just with the SMZ3s. I know like azder's been playing this for forever, and like especially because again plays a lot of games, is a little slow to update some of his strats.
Yeah, it could also be just something where, hey, I'm feeling a little jittery. He had some issues in the overworld, things like that. Hey, I'm just going to go to something that's extremely easy. Just know that I'm not going to screw up this Armos fight, and then sort of get that tilt ball rolling. And so just going right down to that bottom right corner. Very, very easy to do. Doesn't lose a massive amount of time that you're gonna be like really losing.
It's not gonna
your position.
Not gonna determine the race. A lot of people treat these tournament races as just PB attempts you're doing with someone else, and you just make it as far as you can. I know Azer's really big into the actual like race part of it too. Kind of similar to Aussie was before he was eliminated recently. Also really into that, actually cared really more about the race. Azer's not even running with splits right now. I think just all he cares doesn't really matter what his time is, just matters if he's ahead of caznode here. So
yeah. I honestly think that's a really good idea. I know I talked the person that I talked with who was kind of against that idea was Ari, specifically on like not doing the Ice Palace mirror wrap versus doing the Ice Palace mirror wrap. You've got some runners like Ari who think that just the Ice Palace mirror wrap is like a required trick to do in order for it to be a quote-unquote AD run, as opposed to hey, I've made it. However I get into Ice Palace, it doesn't matter. The goals of the game are, hey, this is an all dungeon run. I've gotten to Ice Palace here. We can complete the requirement for it here. So yeah, sort of different philosophies going into it, and I think that if somebody's trying to go for actually running a race, then they might be more willing to do different things differently. So we're seeing here some interesting doing things differently. So azder, pretty clearly to me, it looked like he was actually going for Kiki Yeet.
Yeah, he was. You can see him do the pumps and just missed it.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. So what he's doing instead is, because you land next to Hera, I think it was theorized. I don't know how much people actually looked into it, but it was definitely theorized that it might be better to just do Hera if you don't actually get the yeet. So that's what he's doing.
I think Glam looked at it a little bit. I don't know. You lose so much time because you still have to save and quit up to pod. Still have to do the Hera clip to go to the Dark World after pod to go to Thieves Town like you would normally.
Well,
honestly,
you don't have to go into like. So what he could do, and I don't know how practiced azder is in this, but he could do mirror DMD and to get off Death Mountain. After.
Yeah, I think that was part of Glant's plan. I just never actually looked at it. Honestly, I think
mirror DMD is a much harder trick and can lose you a lot of time if you screw it up.
Honestly, because I think we talked about this too. You know, once you've made that mistake, it's about 20 seconds to fix it, which is about the time lost silvers are. And where that clip puts you is where you want to be for silvers. I honestly think, especially in a race situation, and Azure knows how to get him. He ran with silvers for a long time. I honestly think if that happens to you and you're really just like, I just care about the race, get silvers at that point. I think that's the minimum time loss in that situation. You've already kind of like half committed yourself to that play. And the time loss just to go back and reset to where you were or do this Hera play, I think is about the same as just getting silvers. And then you have the benefit of having silvers, you get to go through Helmet pretty easily and all that kind of stuff. So, people interesting to see this, but...
Yeah, people say 20 seconds for silvers. That's like the most optimized, ridiculous silvers play as possible. I kind of think of it as more of like a 30-second time loss, because there's just a lot of things that you're not going to really think about, like bow wizrobe and stuff like wizrobes in tower, stuff like that. Other thing with what azder has to do here, he does not have the benefit of the hammer for fighting Moldorm.
So how did that get a hit? What the, did you see that?
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So he's gonna have to do this fight like you would in most categories, NMG categories. Trying to get a... There we go. Got the dash through. Don't see that often here in AD because you're usually just using the hammer.
Yeah, kind of got so wrapped up in Azure doing his off route thing here. Kaz looked like he has a pretty good pod actually.
Yeah, sub. The people watching don't see it, but a sub 530 eye shot there. Pretty good time.
Yeah, really good for a race. Just completely skipped over all the glitchy stuff he did.
Right. We're seeing here, this is what you would do, because this is where you end up when you do the Kiki. You can just do it normally here. Ooh, unfortunate.
Wow. Yeah, he did a really good job of actually dealing with that Moldorm kind of being in a bad spot. I'm surprised he didn't actually get knocked into the wall there.
I think he didn't place the bomb at the right spot, because he kind of just went up like one frame, and I think you have to do at least 2 frames up after that bonk.
Yeah, it is 2 frames. I don't have a good resolution on his screen, so I didn't really quite tell. I just assumed he put it in the right, but I think you're right. I think it was in the wrong spot. Meanwhile, Kaz opted to not do the hammer abstracts on Helma, taking a hit. It's gonna be a little scary here. Does get the start of the second phase with a tail swipe, which is always pretty nice.
Very good fight. Well, good second phase.
Yeah, you can see, people sometimes talk about skipping Sankard. Kaz kind of like delayed there a little bit, in that second phase because you're already taking a hit.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the things that people don't realize. It's like, oh, it's just it's just free 4 seconds. Just don't get hit in a Helma. It's like you can play the Helma fight. Like if you're really trying to push this category, you can play the Helma fight so much more aggressively with Sank Card with that extra hit. That like if you're skipping Sank, you not only need to skip Sank for it to be worth it, you need to get really good RNG on Helma. Which is
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
so it's like the Sank skip is just because I think if you're skipping Sank, you also need to skip the hearts, and you're basically playing an Oko Helma at that point.
Yeah. Definitely. And we're seeing Asder go through pod here, so honestly, good thing that he's not using splits, because his splits would be all over the place right now.
Yeah. But they'll basically, as soon as they really hit the warp after Hera, because Azra's gonna have to do a couple extra steps to get up there. That's when we'll be able to see. Kaz with a pretty good pot here, 1827 pot overall. With Azra making the wrong route, he's pretty much guaranteed to be at least 10 to 15 seconds behind here, if not a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being like a 30-second gap by the time everything's all said and done.
Yeah. I would say that too. Nice hammer jump from Asder. Kaz getting jerked around by that mini Moldorm. It's not just the big Moldorm that makes your life hell in this category. Are you a get the key first time or get the key second time?
I actually switched halfway through the tournament. I started incorporating the quick hops, which I hadn't been doing, and then I realized by getting the key first, I have to do 2 quick hops. I'm like, you know what?
We'll get it second.
So I switched. But honestly, this came out. This actually came out with me in Gland's match. Gland missed hammer jump and didn't have enough hearts. Had to do a bunch of stuff to go get more hearts. If you get the key the first time, the best backup ends up being just go to Dark Maze and then get the Dark Maze key because you have the extra key there. Like if you really care about race safety, I would really get the key first. That did happen to me once in a run too. I went to Dark Maze and then I died in Dark Maze because I can't remember the last time I've done it.
I know there was just I'm trying because there was a weird situation. I remember Doom Tap was running. It wasn't anything for the tournament. I think it was just a random race between us folks in the community where he got the small key early, but he forgot the drop down key, and so that put him in a situation where he got all the way to the basement, but couldn't get through the door, and so then you would have to like mirror and do all that stuff again. Where if he wouldn't have gotten the key at the first time through, he wouldn't have been able to even go back to Hammer Yump. There's a lot of weird nonsense going on. With your sort of minor key routing. Really, just don't forget keys and don't
do the right route for the category you're playing at the moment.
Don't do things weird.
Azur and his Helma fight also getting just taking those when he's moving down like that, you really got to be careful. I kind of wish I saw people do more fighter sword spins.
Yeah, for real.
Like you can kind of tell, like when he's about to make a movement, you can just kind of release a spin there.
Yeah,
because he comes at you, you're pretty screwed.
Yeah, you just do like a defensive spin, and all it means is you're gonna be charging up a sword spin anyways, in order so that you have that hammer hit extension, that hammer hitbox extension. So yeah, if you sort of get an understanding of, okay, he's in his tail swipe thing. It takes about this long for the attack to go. I think he's about to end that and start his move. Just be ready to release your spin, defend, sort of block if he's charging at you, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you get the one defensive spin in, which you're probably not going to get another hit in at that point anyways, and then you basically get to end with a spin too, which is pretty quick. So it ends up not... If you're just going to stand there and not do anything, you're better off going up for a little cheeky spin and getting knocked back. Meanwhile, so you can see Kaz officially ahead now with this DMD right here.
So say he got off of Death Mountain at about 22:19, so we'll be able to see from Azder where he gets off of Death Mountain.
Phrasing. Jeez.
off of. Lord, dirty mind here. So let's see. Going here, this looks like he's not going to be trying to do like mirror DMD. Also,
Yeah,
showing us the map where we are.
all this extra movement is why I really don't like the doing the hero first if you mess up thing. Like, 'cause I haven't really sat down and time it. I think I did it once and I looked at my splits and I was like plus 40 after having like, you know, 2 pretty solid segments. I'm like, no, this is which is like I'm kind of just I mean, I'm
you
not really
almost have to practice it if you want it to be
you
good
do
enough.
On like I think I would just end up getting silver. The problem is I'm pretty unpracticed in that. And honestly, if I mess up, I'm just saving and quitting and just kind of taking that time loss.
It looked like a 23-18, 23-19, so basically a minute difference between our 2 runners.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
I'd say
for
a
Azder.
decent amount of it is just because not getting the Kiki correct.
Yeah, I mean, Azder had a pretty, you know, he had a decent Moldorm with Fire Sword. You know, that fight does take it's an extra 3 hits. You know,
absolutely.
And it's a harder fight too.
Yeah, he did
so you
have
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then the extra time movement. Like his both his segments that were pretty clean. So yeah, he really just lost a minute. So I don't really know about the whole hero first thing.
Yeah, he had a little bit of trouble at the very end because he had to deal with the rage phase of Moldorm. So he was just sitting there waiting for him to give him a good dash through. But yeah, just combo of having to do 6 hits versus 3, plus the time loss that you get from just not doing the dungeon order in the way that we want to.
Yeah, and Kaz does have the better PB. I don't think Azder has actually gotten a 12. I think he's somewhere in the 13 still. Like, so he's not running against his PB splits.
Yeah,
I don't
hard to actually know. On ZSR,
yeah.
or not ZSR, on SRC, it's still like a 114, but I think he's
definitely has gotten a 13. I know that. But I mean, definitely capable of like a 112, and if everything goes well, you know, at this point it won't be a 112 just because he's taken that loss already. But he could definitely play like, you know, he can come in with like 113 right now. But you know, Kaz is on a pretty decent run for him, so he is going to need Kaz to. I don't know if it's necessarily in the range of needing Kaz to make a major mistake or just a bunch of little ones, but you know, he's going to need some help from Kaz to get himself back into this one.
A minute, it's still within range of not necessarily being a disaster that kills him, but from here, Azder would basically need to be playing pretty much lights out from his sort of PB capability, and Kaz to kind of fumble and bumble a little bit. Or make a major disaster. And unfortunate with the bomb timing there for Azder having to go and clean up the Stalfos at the bottom.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to lose a minute in this. You know, there's a bunch of the TR climb soft lock is a classic one. Just pushing up, it's gonna lose you. It's good like 30-40 seconds, and then just needs a little slop on top of that to let him back in this one.
As they're having some issues with the prison here, the jail cell, what do you want to call it? I am not Anders. I do not have a setup for a trivia question.
Oh man,
sorry, folks. Apple Farmer. There you go.
Apple Farmer.
Link, who was born in Stratford. It's a little inside joke for our FGFM heads. Let's see if a whiff on the bomb throw there. Having some interesting time there with the bombable HUD. don't know if Kaz is in the church of Frogdoor. I also don't know if he's a stream watcher, and we talked about it earlier about running as a race versus running as a PB attempt. I probably, if I were running this and I were watching my opponent, I probably would have just done the other version, not done Frogdoor.
Yeah,
with this much of a gap.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's not really a risk of hard locking. Everyone knows the safety of it, but it's like
it's still really a decent amount of time to lose.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not going to lose.
It's not going to lose 10 minutes or whatever.
But like, it's as long as you know what you're doing, like it's pretty unlikely you're going to mess it up that badly. But yeah, I mean, it is one of the places. There's just so many other things you're going to be doing anyways in this run that, like, I don't know, that's playing it pretty safe.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said. I'm also kind of like of the FSG school of just do what you've been doing. You're more likely to screw up a. Granted, there's really no way you can screw up the Smiths where you're going to lose a minute. Like, that'd be. I don't even know what you would do to have that happen. But yeah, if you're gonna, I don't know, I feel like it's better off just do what you've been practicing and don't really worry about it.
We might see, because I don't know what azder does. This might be one of the few matches that we're going to see where both of our runners do the old school blacksmith strat.
Yeah, I'm surprised Kaz hasn't upgraded. I know Kaz is another old boy, but he came back, a couple months ago. Was playing NMG a lot, upgrading all of his strats over there, playing AD, doing most of the new stuff here. Yeah, we're going to see a double old boy.
Time traveled back 2 years, maybe? No, not 2 years. A year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe just a year. Or whatever. The time frame isn't important. We definitely time traveled to an older time.
Yeah, not a lot of matches. I think even Andy switched. So that's saying something now. If you're
I mean, I haven't watched enough, and I don't think I've calmed enough Andy matches to know. But like the first one, that initial Owase Andy match that started off the entire group stages, good lord, some of the strats that Andy was pulling out.
Yeah, I know he went through and upgraded a bunch right before the GDQ match. So I think Blank Smith was one of the ones he finally just switched to.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, it takes like literally 2 seconds to learn. Like, it's what you would do if you were playing this casually.
It's fairly intuitive. All you're doing is just mirroring immediately. Unfortunate Skullbush there for azder. Probably the most fortunate Skullbush that you can get.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a one. It really doesn't screw anything else up. I mean, I guess the Thieves Town one doesn't really either. Like when you're coming down for the DMD.
The main thing is you don't, because you're in that 2-tile wide area, you don't get knocked back nearly as far, so you lose less time from the knockback.
Oh, right, yeah. Very nice worst room in the game here from azder.
That mummy was like literally lined up with the statue there. Nice side burn of the proboscis.
Jesus. Kozer, please, there are children watching. But yeah, these two segments, really even the 3 segments with Hera, pretty straightforward. You kind of have like 1 or 2 clench moments in each segment, but more often than not, they tend to go okay. Moldemort with the hammer. Thieves Town is generally pretty straightforward. Can decide to kill you. Skullwoods is pretty much that mummy statue, Mummy Hellway, and Moth. And if you had good the first 2, Moth's probably not going to be too bad to you. And getting pretty nice patterns for Gaz.
Ooh,
just barely.
Missed.
And
blocked.
Whoa! Wow, I've never seen. That's a really. It was a really nice fight that turned south really quickly. But unfortunately, Kaz had pretty good health. Is able to take the extra hit there.
Yeah, like he was in. He put himself in a very good situation. He went up for the poke dash hit. to try to finish him off. And then just very unfortunate spike placement, sort of blocking his hits, trying to hit the moth from the top. Made that a lot scarier than it looked like it was going to be.
Yeah, especially the thing with that fight, like Kaz missed the double hit, and that's really a fight you kick yourself. Because if he had the double hit, like he had those first 3 hits in really quickly, it would have been a really clean fight. But unfortunately, he had to go to that 4th hit, and that he had some troubles with that one.
Ooh,
I was about to say, Azder's was not a good opening, but he got that like double hit. That rarely seen double hit to finish him off.
Yeah. So off to get one of, as both Anders and Alton Brown call it, one of our unitaskers. The ether medallion. Really only use it for one thing. Oh my goodness, Katy Perry.
Yeah, and someone.
That's honestly, that kind of crap. I just don't go. I'm just like, nope, I don't care. I'm just not going to go for it. Go for that. That's super speed there.
Well, if that's super speed, that you can on that one, like sometimes that dead rock is just close enough you can.
Yeah, you can with your spin knock him over. But
yeah, but
yeah, I just feel like absolute crap just sitting there. I've made it off.
Oh, well, this is RMG. He can actually clip through here.
Yeah, but a lot of the times
it's so slow. Yeah, this is generally what happens. Is
okay.
Like most times when you're going to that technique there, you have like a dash or something to set up the grip change. So doing it like kind of as a reaction thing there is really tricky to do. It's actually it's really hard to beat the dead rock. But yeah, I was gonna say about this segment, like you were saying, that we get the 2 unitaskers here. It was someone pointed out to me a while ago. Not only do you have to get the 2 unitaskers here, all the shopping we do in Skull Woods, besides the tempered sword, is actually just for actually picking up these items. We don't need any of the money. Was only for the flippers, and the book is only for ether. We don't need any. So if we could get rid of 1 or 2 of these, Swamp always teases us with a way of fake flipping through there.
Yeah, but things just get weird at the very end with Phelpsroom.
Michael Phelpsroom is just unbreakable. And then ether, of course, notoriously one of the hardest items to break in this game. Even the completely broken categories still get ether to open up Mire to get the proper ID. They don't get ether where you're supposed to get ether, but they get ether.
Yeah. So I don't know what our runners' preferences are. I think probably 80% of the runners are going to be doing bomb clip, but looks like we're not seeing that from Kaz. He's a Protestant Church of Blaine member.
Wow, I think this makes Kaz the 2nd member of that church. The congregation is not very strong.
Yeah, I was a member for a while, but then I just started actually trying the bomb clip, and it was like, it's not that hard.
The thing with that clip, it's kind of like the boom strats in Aga Tower, is that you're still kind of have to deal with the hard parts.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do, and it doesn't save that as much time as the actual optimal strats. So it's like you should either just go for the completely easy and save plain ham sandwich, or you should just suck it up and do the fast thing. So it's in this weird betweener state that are we going to see 2? If we see 2, I swear to God, I'm turning this off.
No,
okay,
we just seen a plain ham sandwich from
plain ham sandwich.
Oh, but we got the bee. Okay, good. Man, if that bee would have hit him while he was picking up the rock, that would have been unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Those clips do suck. I can't really fault anyone for doing the plain ham sandwich, and they don't really save that much time. Especially if you're still like in the 113 range that Azder is in, like you really don't need it to PB or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said it before. One of the things I really like about this category is it's really, really customizable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly like what you want. There's only it's like 3 or 4 tricks that are like, okay, you need to do these 3 or 4 tricks to make it a quote unquote AD run. But the rest are just like 5 to 10 second time savers that's just like if you don't want to do it, and if you're not fast enough at them, just don't do it.
Yeah, what would you say? I would, to me, TR mirror wrap.
like
DMA, DMD,
yeah, DMA, DMD, Fluteless
and
Mire.
Kiki Skip, and Fluteless Mire. I feel like those are like the. I can't, off
And
the
not
top of my
even
head, I can't think of anything
not even
else.
the mirror wrap. You can do the spin clip. If you just don't want to mess with mirror wraps, you can do the old school mirror spin clip too. And
I wonder
get in that
how
way.
much of a. Because to me, I'm not in the full airy mode where I have to do IP mirror wrap or it's not an AD run. But like if we're getting to, I wonder how long of a difference the spin clip is versus the TR mirror wrap.
It's pretty long because at one point I looked at it as like a backup for something. Like if something went horribly wrong, there was. Oh, I think it's like if you didn't have a bomb. I was before we kind of started figuring out good bomb backups. I was like, I wonder how long is this if you could just avoid the bomb? And it was pretty long.
If it's something like hovering around a minute time loss or something like that,
it wasn't. I think it was like 25 to 30 seconds, something like that. Like so, a good chunk, but not. You know, if you're a beginning player, you know, not necessarily something that difficult. But especially now with the newer mirror wrap, it's pretty easy to set up. You get the automatic setup. It's really more being good on the TR climb to get that setup correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, as they're just missing one of those
unfortunate. And it's always the worst when it's the third guy because it's the longest to take. Looking at our times though, it's not. They're not. We were thinking it was like after leaving, after getting off Death Mountain, we were saying it was about like a minute, just around a minute time difference. There's definitely been a pretty good truncation from Azder's side.
I looked at Azder's sword up time versus Kaz's. It's 45 seconds. Pretty much on the dot.
Yeah, so Azder making some strides. Still, 45 is still a pretty hefty time difference. Not really something that like you'd have to get ridiculous blue ball differential for RNG to be a huge factor. So Azder still needs to play pretty lights out and needs to hope for some mistakes from caznode. But it's definitely within. It's definitely still a race.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Josh Louis race was kind of like in this ballpark.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Louis just like he blew like 30 seconds on Icebreaker pretty much, and which isn't really that difficult to do if you struggle with it a little bit. It's pretty easy to lose that much time, and there's a couple tricks like that. So
was it Louis who
really
blew it on Icebreaker, or was it Josh who blew it on Icebreaker? I can't remember.
Oh, it was Josh, right? Louis was behind because of an earlier issue.
Just want to make everyone know. Make sure everyone knows it was Josh RTA who blew it on Icebreaker, not Louis _.
Yeah, but Louis _ screwed up some other pretty bad stuff early on.
In order to be that far behind. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you know, we have got the Hera to Swamp clip in here that you if you miss it once or twice, that's going to be 30 seconds. The Icebreaker you can mess up. Yeah, even just like you know missing the mirror wrap for the Ice Palace mirror, not the hard lock, but just you know not getting the 2 frames.
Should point out we did see that Kaz skipped the key, so it looks like he is at least attempting this bomb clip here or bomb jump.
Yeah, doing
looks
without
like one more frame. There we go. Very nice.
Yeah, nice. They didn't even do it with the sword, which I feel like it makes it a lot easier. So very nicely done. It was like 3 buffers, something like that.
I think it was 4. Regardless, saving time.
Yeah, he's probably saving 2 to 3 seconds. Not. It's kind of like Citrus, where it's like once you are at least consistent, not failing it, you feel pretty good at it. Just start going for it, and you know, every once in a while you get a nice like 6-7 second time save. But you know, as long as you're not losing time, then you should go ahead and put it in your run.
Yeah, and especially in a race scenario, it's one of those things where it's like in a PB scenario, all right, oh, now I have to always get it, you know, this good or this good or this good. In a race, it's just, hey, is my opponent not doing it? As long as I'm faster than not doing it.
Yeah, I think it's like you need a 20 or something in the room to save time, and if you're fairly decent at it and you practice that room, but you're really not. You're probably either going to straight up fail it or you're going to, you know, it takes a lot of pause buffers to get a 20. So
did see a nice adjustment there from caznode. definitely been studying your Imager album. I think he had to do one of the adjusts where you had to go up left, one of the harder adjusts.
Yeah, that's one. That's a nice save if you actually go to. We always complain that it's like, oh, it's not that it's so hard. It's just that it's 2 1-frames in a row. If you actually do the first one as a 2-frame, there is a save, but of course it does require another 2 1-frames in a row to save it. You just get a second chance at it for free. Oh, missing the fire rod up though.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a awful pattern to have to clean up. Oh, and doesn't he gets booty blasted, so he can't even have beams now.
Yeah, I've been looking at Azder's side, and Azder's been having an issue with. Took forever to get started up. Got knocked out after getting in, and then had to get reset back up. Hitting the switch early, it's just time loss because you mirror and then everything gets reset back to where it was. So it's just a little time loss, but you don't have to like think in your brain, hey, I have to walk down after getting through this initial door so that you don't get hit by the anti-fairy. That's basically the only thing that changes if you accidentally hit the switch.
Yeah, those pegs are never in our way for routing. And then when we come back, they're always in our way, no matter what, because of the mirror, so.
A lot better Meyer 2 than Node, but offsetting from the hair to swamp issues. We'll see.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Node. Okay, that's fine. Node a little bit off on planting that Samaria block. I had to adjust and then accidentally bumped up against it when trying to walk between. It's deceptively... Your brain sort of thinks, hey, I can just walk through this little spot here, but you really can't without disturbing the Samaria block. Azder giving us an update saying he always hits it. Node taking 2 hits early. He's still got plenty of health for a good vitreous fight here.
Yeah, it's ironic that we come in here with less hearts overall from NMG, but this fight's generally safer because we take less guaranteed, or we get the hearts after we took the bulk of the guaranteed damage. So generally, you're going into Vidi with more hearts.
Yeah.
So it's ironically a safer fight. But the really funny thing is, I learned the good Vidi strat because when I was first learning AD, I was bad and I would take damage, so I needed the extra safety because I would come here with so few hearts. So I actually learned it for AD originally.
There we go. So Azder, I don't know if I wasn't paying, because I was watching caznode, I wasn't paying enough attention to know whether he just didn't throw the block into the void going across the bridge, or whether he didn't get the dust kick up because he went and threw the block into the void in what would be Spooky 1 in MG.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But either way, heads up, knowing to make that correction there.
Mm-hmm.
Either realizing he forgot or realizing that he blew the first Spooky.
Through the normal spot, I think he maybe missed dust. Gotcha. See if anyone tries some Doom Tap memes. I don't know if you saw that hot.
Yeah, I saw it. It doesn't, except for the fact, like, if you could, like, I think like at task level, if you just like automatically like dash to the transition and do the two buttons on 1 frame, might actually be faster. But like a human setting up that trick is gonna lose a lot of time.
And adding another mirror wrap into the run.
As Boyne made a comment, just what he's been looking for, more 1 frame tricks in this run.
That was a nice anti-fairy skip from caznode.
Yeah, Node going for the not the first quick warp in this category is completely free, just putting it on the wall. Although it was pointed out that my free setup isn't so free because it's sub-pixel dependent. But since you get the free one, like I do the mirror in the door for NMG because both of them are tricky. But here, the first one's free. Like, I feel like you're better off going for it and then just trying to at least eyeball the second one as fast as possible. Oh, wait, speaking of... Wow, okay. Well, we know what azder was doing today.
Uh-huh.
Did he just... Yeah, well...
Yeah, he forgot to actually mirror. That was his only issue, but that's funny.
Yeah, it's really, like, it's funny that it just... it just lines up the quick warps right in the center of the door, which is actually really convenient. But I don't know. I gotta sit down and look at it. It doesn't... Yeah, like, I can't imagine it would be faster. Like, the free quick warps are pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, like, optimally, because you're dashing over the same thing, you have that extra transition, which takes a second. I don't know.
Yeah,
The main thing...
I feel like the main thing is just... Well, I don't know what the main thing is. I feel like the meme is that you'll never get a lot of. Is like, why you're doing this.
Yeah, another thing is, like, it's being set up with the Brahmin exit, not the fast exit, so you're losing some of that time too.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, Kaz going to be heading into his Argus fight here, maintaining his lead. Oh, that's right. I always forget Kaz. Kaz is probably one of the best players who just does not even go for the zero cycle.
Zero cycle, yeah. I mean, he did a very good empty cycle version with just slashes. It's not... I was gonna make it sound harder than this. It's not terribly hard to do, but he was right up in Argus's face.
Yeah, if you're just going for the strat, and you're of like Kaz's skill level, it's pretty straightforward to get a nice.
Azder accidentally pressed down. Oh wait, no. Okay, we're good.
Oh, yeah. I thought that block might have been a little. Yeah, nudged it a little too far, but it's able to recover pretty nicely. As Brain was asking for, another one-frame trick in this run right there for diver down. Yeah, skipping the refill, the dream. Generally, skipping the refill means something went horribly wrong before, and you're able to get some extra.
I mean, the dream is the 420 on his bomb in arrow counter.
It is a pretty good dream. Yeah, azder also not going for the zero cycle.
Also, having beams in the fight, it's so rare in NMG. It's so rare that you actually have beams, just because there's so many times that you have.
Yeah, you just get hit.
Get beat up. Yeah, I was kind of watching Kaz while trying to talk. Yeah, you just get beat up, so it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, Kaz going for the fricker bonk strat here. I've never been a fan of that strat. The problem is, like, there's only like misses one of the bombs. The problem I always have that it's like there's only like one of the 3 pixels that you can stand on is actually like sub-pixel dependent. And then because you're a 2-1 walking pattern, there's only like 1 pixel you can actually end up on where it works right away without you having to adjust. So it just seems slow compared to another one is just holding diagonal, and because you're doing diagonal, you have three frames. So, you can actually have even more than the 3 frames as a whole, but there's other fixes you'd have to do. I just haven't.
Yeah, you have to like walk up against the wall and stuff like that.
The diagonal, there's something like 6 in a row or something, but some of them have like really silly setups to actually get. One you literally have to Christos into the door to fix, which is
I don't know, man.
Dumb.
Just get frame perfect every time. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'll just stick with my 3 that always work, and only 2 need a fix.
I've seen azder doing his. That was way too low for the setup.
Yeah, unfortunately missing the two buttons on the same frame. That one he just walked into the transition.
Well, I think he was misremembering what triangle. You're supposed to be looking at the triangle, right? In the tiles to sort of figure out, hey, this is where I would set myself up so that I'm always 1 pixel away, and he walked down too low. Both runners.
Yeah, like I know some people like don't like the cane strats because like it can go wrong. The berry can hit it. It's like the bomb can go wrong. I mean, I guess it's always your fault when it goes wrong.
Yeah, but there's still. Also you just plant the bomb directly above the switch. You don't have to throw it into that corner like you do.
Yeah, but it's even slower.
It's a little slower, sure.
The other one, I think the problem is with the other one. The thing I see people mess up is like the way you used to do it, right? Is you would plant the like as soon as you come through that transition, just plant the bomb down, and then you can always you can slash the berry because you came through. The game didn't really expect you just to Kool-Aid man through this wall. So the berries you can have time to plant the bomb and slash the berry 100% of the time. It makes that bomb throw a lot easier than it would be in NMG. But I see a lot of players maybe just thinking it's scary, slashing first and then planting the bomb. But you're always safe to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Meanwhile, Kaz going for the hardest swim in the game. There's not a lot of swims in this category. There's literally like the little 2-tile swim in Mire and this one. So we decided to take all the crappiness of swimming and just shove it into one super mega ultra crappy swim.
Well, there's the swims inside the swamp.
That's true.
Looking at the times, it looks like. Yeah, let's see. Crystal Catch was at 54:13. Add 50 seconds for this.
Just wait till it goes sword up, and you can see Kaz's splits.
I mean, I'm just trying to talk about it now. God damn it!
Don't want to do it the hard way.
Just gonna say, I was getting a sip of Coke. Give me some goddamn break, all right?
Anyways, Kaz doing the TR climb.
All these goddamn comms. Just give me a break. Yeah, it seems like azder has given back some of the time that he regained, but Kaz having some issues with this clip here.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is it's a lot less scary than NMG. Mostly like it's pretty much RNG free. There's the Poke 2 and the Poke 1 RNG, and the Poke 2 RNG is obviously a lot easier to deal with. It's only difficult if you go for the no menu, so you can say the menu for the bunny unbeam.
I don't know, man. I remember hearing one person just exclaim, "Of course they get the good Poke 2 RNG."
That was on the way back, man.
We've seen azder just skip right on over doing any of the interesting clips for Ice Rod, just throwing a bomb up there. He is going to be one bomb down, just like Kaz is, because they both messed up the escape of Ice Palace Bomble floor.
Yeah, but you can either get the I don't even know if either of them go for the fast TR peg puzzle strat, but you can either get one here, do like the normal strat, just pick up a bomb in this one, and there's also the GT bombable floor backup. That one's actually a little bit faster. If you continue to do the TR fast way and get the GT bomb, it's like 20 frames faster from when I tested it. But of course, the TR strat is very difficult, so unless you're very, very good at it, a lot of times in that situation, if you are short of bomb, discretion is the better part of valor. Just get the easy bomb in TR, and then you would lose. A lot of players use the menu to bombs to bonk over that warp. You lose that as well. So it's a pretty difficult 20 frames to actually realize. Just getting the TR bomb, especially in a race situation, would make a lot of sense.
Might get to see some hot just per se strats coming from caznode.
Yeah, looks like Kaz did save the mirror here.
He saved the menu, so not even.
Oh yeah, someone was saying if you just mash A there,
Yeah, well, not even mash. If you just tap A while the bunny transition, you get control over Link earlier than you would if you don't do anything. So there's the bomb. Somebody was asking, where is the bomb in that maze? There is the bomb for that we saw on Casnode's screen.
Yeah, I do remember Andy one time asked, "Where's the bomb?" While that bomb was on screen, and then he got a bomb at the top. Pick up the pot. It was
that
what
had
are you
the bomb
doing?
under it.
It's like, I didn't know there was a bomb there. It's like, it's on your screen.
Walk up to pick up another one. Ooh, Azder in a really scary situation. Does a good job bonking over.
Yeah. Wisely just continues through the iframes, just not being scared there. Being scared is how you get killed in this dungeon. But yeah, I was saying before, like, it's like all the RNG is more or less gone. A lot of the scary things is gone. But there's a couple of tricky rooms, that Crystal Roller being one of them, where and he doesn't get the bad RNG, but he's using the menu here for safety. Yeah, a couple of rooms that it's just like, if anything goes wrong, you can kiss the laser, you can Crystal Roller, Pokey's one. Like, if Azure gets the good but hard pattern here, it can be pretty dangerous. So not too scary.
But he's just gonna take it super simple and slow.
Yeah. And then, of course, Trinix. Everyone has died to Trinix on 3 hearts. It happens. It should be a safe fight, but pretty.
Pulling the duck here. Let's see when he decides to mirror on back. There
it is.
I imagined the whoops was.
Yeah. Okay. It was good old stream delay here. Yeah, as confirming that was the. Yeah, at least he realized before he got the God RNG and Pokies too. Yeah, as they're also pissing at that bomb. I don't know if that's just what they normally do. A lot of players just go for that strat, then go for the harder fast strat. Caznode making sure all of his pots are still safe in his house before heading back up to Death Mountain. But yeah, Kaz has a pretty comfortable lead at this point. You can blow 30 seconds in GT pretty easily. It's not too difficult. But even if he blows 30 seconds, he's still going to have a decent lead here. Kaz already out of this cutscene as we're still in the Trinix fight.
And taking it safe, getting the old man kisses, old man heart refill.
Yeah,
just
those are
definitely more safe.
Yeah, I think Kaz is 121 over his PB. He's not trying to save a PB in this race.
Right.
It's got a pretty comfortable lead. And those are the best kisses to get, because unless you go full try hard and do the fast strat in floor 2, they save you the least amount of time, because generally if you skip the heal there, you will do a safer strat in floor 2 to save some of your hearts. So it really only comes out to be it's like 2 or 3 seconds. It's actually pretty thin. It's really the last heal that you should drop as a player of this category.
Right. Good on both of our runners after picking up those bombs. Good on all of their ammunition counts. So nothing interesting needed to happen for either of our runners. Yeah,
Azer's kind of in that squishy middle where he's got plenty of arrows, but at the same time he doesn't have quite enough to actually skip the chest. Probably, actually, what he probably should have done is, I guess that was before he realized before he missed the bomb. But yeah, if he was able to, he could have just gotten extra arrows in Swamp in the restock room and skip the chest. That chest is pretty slow, so if you can come into GT with enough arrows, generally can be worth it.
Yeah, that's a lot of foresight. About things that you don't really have much control over.
Well, you have pretty decent control over this category because between Swamp and here you don't use any arrows, so you know exactly.
Well, but not the arrow count; it's the bomb count, right?
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. The bomb, yeah, not picking up the extra bomb. Yeah, as they're getting the torch key, pretty. Generally the better key to get in AD. The optimal one is actually the helmet key, but to do it fast does require you taking damage. The one nice thing about if you do decide to start picking up the helmet key is if you do have a rough gauntlet, you can go to a backup strat where that is damageless. But just
with some Arya strats in these 2 switch rooms from Azder.
Yeah, I don't see those very often.
Yeah, usually you see boom and hook strats.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things that Azer's just been doing that forever. Again, player of a lot of different games, Super Metroid particularly. You know, doesn't necessarily sit down and just grind this and like learn all the top strats. So, but you know, just really impressive the times he can put up in this. Again, without you know necessarily this being his main game even.
Yeah. Speaking of sort of differential and health, Asder deciding not to get those hearts, and he's already taken 2 additional hearts just in the basement. So he's already down to 6. Should be fine, but you never know.
Oh,
Did he take a heart there? Yes, he
ugh,
did, and
that's not
losing some
good.
magic. That's not great.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. You know, as they're obviously talking in chat here, it knows where he's at. Like
Yeah.
you
Needs to
you have
squeeze
to.
out time when he can.
Yeah, like if your GT, if with this gap, if your GT is so bad that you need the health, probably not going to win anyways. So it doesn't really matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, Azra's also going to be out of kind of like PB range here as well. So really just playing for the win. When he's down by this much, he's got to go balls to the wall. If he die, like a dying is almost immaterial because if you took that many hearts of death damage, you were just too slow to win anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw that in I don't remember who he was playing, but
Well, yeah, he's really going for it. Wow.
I don't know if I would do this.
Yeah, this is a.
Yeah, this is a little scary. He could get a heart drop here.
Oh,
which he
there we
did.
go.
But I mean,
That was a
he
very
takes a smack from any of these nerds, and he is literally dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Unfortunately, there we see the death.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, like I respect the thought. Probably, yeah, maybe a little too aggressive. I'm not even. I wonder if he even knows the other strat. Yes. Nope. Nope.
No. Just going there as well. And just club the Aga too.
Just rewrite the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, if we should have an FSG rules tournament. That'd be great.
I'm sure there's like some optimal thing that people would just accidentally die to, so that they could skip, you know, all
Yeah, we
or some crap.
you have to play it on the honor system. It's a good community here. We could have an honor system tournament. Although yeah, it's like, well, I'm not trying to die, but I'm not trying not to die. You know. Seeing the Josh fairies, the 125 Josh fairies.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was bringing up as Asder was going full yellow there was we saw a race. I forget who he was racing against, but Awase, similar death in GT because he just knew that he was far enough behind and he had to just try to play it as fast and loose as he could. And Awase just, once you die in GT, if you're not like unbelievably ahead, it's kind of game over.
Yeah, I mean, you could always like have a Ganon fall or something, but even that's a pretty big gap. I would definitely respect Azure for.
Yeah,
you know, I would kind of do what Azure is doing here, where if not finish the run, I would at least keep playing until my opponent duns.
Yeah,
and then just depending where I was, seeing if I actually want to finish the run or not. When I'm doing PB attempts, generally if I die in GT, even if it was a decent run, it's like I don't feel like doing GT again, and like this is the problem. The last like 2 seconds.
And the end of
boring.
the end of this run is just the most annoying part of the run. So
yeah, so it's like it's fine. I don't care. Like. Yeah. Like there's not generally like NMG, it's like, oh, like keep going so you can practice Ganon's Tower. Here it's like, do I need to practice Aga's Tower? Like, I guess.
Yeah. Do I need to practice blue balls?
Yeah. So it's always annoying to finish runs of this. So yeah, definitely respect to Azure. You know,
should point out we are actually going to see. Because Asder did not do anything to fix Fake Dark World, we are going to see Aga 1 at the top of Ganon's Tower here for Asder.
And Paladin Link. Yeah, everyone loves Paladin Link. Asder... Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, he already picked up the key.
Yeah, the main thing is like don't get the key in this room because it's really slow because you don't need the magic. So if you just get the torch key,
Zelda
if you
still
don't
get
want
get that key.
he might. I don't know.
Don't get that key, except the world record holder gets that key.
Look, I've mentioned Blaine had the world record at one point, and he sang the "I don't know how to do Aga Tower" song in Aga Tower. So you know, this category is definitely. I mean, even with this world record dropped by over a minute in this tournament. Even Zelma's 9:34. He had a little trouble in Ganon's Tower. Like that, for his skill level, that could easily come down another 23 seconds probably. But it's just can be quite the taxing category to grind. So you definitely don't blame him for moving on.
Has the hook shot and doesn't go for that. I mean, people consider that as a meme dash. There's an even memer dash in the room just super speed just before this.
Yeah, the hook dash is actually slightly faster than charging up a dash, so you save like 2 frames or something silly.
Yeah. Because I'm not really used to seeing blue balls in Ganon's Tower, I honestly have not been counting what azder has been getting.
Well, I mean, we can say about the closeness of the race. They are both in Aga 1 at the same time. So, that's always a sign of a nice close race.
Yeah, absolutely.
azder just has a couple, clearly it's just a different, he's got the palette swap on.
Yeah. It's like LSD blind, he just did something.
Also, I understand, the black void. That makes sense. What is with the blue void that Aga 1 lives in?
Well, he's supposed to be at the very top of a tower, right?
Yeah, but you're looking down, so you'd be looking at the ground here.
Are you... The way that this game plays with perspective and all that kind of stuff, are you looking down? Yeah, I don't know. So here we go. We get some Paladin Link from azder right here.
Yeah, always a nice way to finish up the run. Yeah, so Kaz just gonna have to drop into his Ganon fight right here. Wow, he saved 20 seconds on. How bad was his blue balls in his? Oh, he has 3 blue balls in his. So I think he must have just gotten 1.
Yeah, I think all I saw was 1.
Yeah, but unless he gets a really bad Ganon here, he's gonna be finishing with a 112 here, which is pretty good. As Kaz was about a minute over his splits, has that low 111. So, for a race setting, a 112 is a very good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a torch glitch away.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be finishing up this phase 4 right here. Yeah, at this point, azder will be in his Aga 1 fight. Probably just wants to. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes ahead and finishes it up. Probably almost definitely gonna be eliminated here. Just finish it out, and on at least a moment of dignity.
And there we go.
Yeah, so Kaz will be finishing just around that, like I said, the kind of low to mid 112 A very nice run from Kaz. So Kaz will be advancing. We're actually going to get the I think one of our first rematches of this entire tournament
Kaz
so
versus
far
Ham.
was. Yeah, Kaz versus Ham. We're in the same groups together. Kaz, one of the few players to actually overtake his 1 seed in the group stage. So I think, yeah, Ham has actually still the higher seed still in that, just based on his group times. So Ham again, the somehow simultaneously the favorite and the underdog in that match. So it should be a good one. The first match was really entertaining. So looking forward to that one.
And we're joined here
Looks like
by
we are
caznode as well for an
Joined
interview.
by Kaz. GG's.
Good game. How's it going, guys?
Yo,
It's
what's up?
going pretty good. Did you? How do you feel about your run? 112, mid 112 in a tourney race, and not that bad.
I mean, I'll definitely take it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it
Yeah.
got me the win. That's what's important.
Yeah, I didn't even. It's one of those things that especially when you're watching a race, like you didn't really look like you have that many like big disasters. I just looked up. I was like, man, Kaz is having a pretty good run. And I saw you're like +1 in desert. I guess it really just shows you like how good of a run you actually need to be on pace with your PB. But like, I don't really remember too much specifically going. Like, I know your Moth was a little wonky for the time lost in Skull. And then I don't. What happened in Hera? We lost a little time there.
Hera, I think my Moldorm fight was just slow. It was up against I think it's up against a gold split. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you just lost like 4 to 5 seconds per split, and then just kind of over time that added up to being like just a minute over your PB. So, but yeah, pretty clean. Just that's gonna run PB pace in a tournament match. So, but yeah, get the win. Gonna play Greenham again next week.
I can't wait.
Hot rematch action going with that.
I need my revenge.
Yeah, and then unless I pull off some sort of miracle against Blaine, I'll be likely waiting for the winner of that match.
I mean, there's always a chance, you know.
There is. I probably need to finish a run for that to happen, though.
Whereas you're taking a lot of beatings. Good thing about this category is you can take beatings.
The bad thing about this category is if you grind this and go back to NMG, you go like, oh right, Ganon is scary.
I have to actually dodge these things instead of just beat them.
There was a reason Duck dying on Ganon was a meme for a while because I forgot how to like never take damage. I'm like, oh yeah, you can't do that.
And even long before you get to Ganon, you've got to do Lamo with arrows again.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that goes away so quickly. Last time I took a break from NMG, I got back, my Lamo was just a goddamn mess.
So yeah, Deck was pointing out that it was a good run, but you know, losing time here and there. Do you? I kind of was. We had a little divergence with the citrus and stuff, and just that initial fall off on that citrus. Did you feel? How did you feel right after that? Did you feel like? Did that get into your head as you're going through the run, or are you sort of able to compartmentalize those kind of smallish mistakes?
I mean, yeah, it depends on the mistake. For that one in particular, I know that citrus is by no means guaranteed to go well, and there's a decent chance I'll end up having to do it 2 or 3 times to get it right. So, I mean, it's just a bonus if for citrus in particular, it's just a bonus if I happen to get it first try.
And with that, azder's also finished with an official SL time of 1:16:20.
GG's to azder. Were you watching the restream or azder stream while you were running, Kaz?
I had it up in the corner. I wasn't watching very closely, just occasionally glancing over to see if to see where we were relatively. I did notice the route change, the route difference in Hera.
Yeah. I don't know if we're getting azder in for the interview, but we're gonna ask him about it. It looked like he was. It didn't look like it was a conscious decision to change. Speaking of, here is azder. just trying to go for the Kiki and didn't get the subpixel that you need to get flung over to the left. GG's Azder. We've got Azder in voice comms with us. Congrats on the run.
One quick little technical question. Is either of you on hardware? Just one quick question quickly. Is either of you on hardware and wouldn't your Discord wouldn't come through on stream?
Oh, it is coming through on stream.
Okay, and Caznode, how about you?
Discord is not coming through on my stream.
Alright, well, I guess I'll put Caznode's audio on so we have some credits while we're fading out here.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, as we were just talking about your adventures with Kiki Yeet.
That's a common mistake for me. It tends to happen when I get nervous. I mess up the like small inputs that you're supposed to do.
Is that what you normally do if you fail it, or is that sort of an on the fly? Hey.
Yeah, that's what I normally do if I fail it. Okay. I'm not sure what the best option is really.
Yeah, we were thinking about and discussing sort of different things that you could do. I think what Duck was suggesting was going and getting silvers, since it kind of puts you in a very similar spot. Versus
maybe that would have been better.
But yeah, tough situation. But you had knowing the options and knowing the things that you could do when things go wrong that way, as opposed to just saving and quitting and trying again.
Yeah, it takes so long to run down the mountain there. I don't know if saving quitting would be faster than just jumping down all the ledges.
Yeah. It's definitely something you'd have to practice at and figure out.
The thing is that you're screen wrapped, so I guess like actually you're screen wrapped, so I guess you could run out of hair and then go down and jump the ledges like normal. Like that's kind of what I did after the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Gland swears it's faster, but like I've tried it once or twice, and I kind of ended up being in a position where you were, where it was like all of a sudden I'm plus a minute. I'm like, this can't. I must be doing something wrong because this,
Yeah. The other thing was,
so much time.
I don't know if you, I don't know how much no EG or any % RMG is what's called now. Did you think about doing something like a mirror DMD or anything like that after you finished the out of order pod?
After finished a mirror DMD,
because you have to save and quit from pod to get back onto Death Mountain, and so you could mirror DMD instead of going into Hera to reset the camera.
So you do that with the mirror wrap? I don't get. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I don't actually know how you would end up in the Dark World.
Okay.
You instead of going the fast clip up to Hera, you would go into the mirror, the portal with the broken camera, and then you do the DMD there. So it just skips the going into Hera part. Yeah.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Okay. It's probably like 10-ish seconds faster. But I think when like Glam was saying, "Oh, this is the fastest," I think he priced that in as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how to do that, I mean, it's such a hard call to make. Honestly,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm saying I would save and quit and try it again. Yeah, I wouldn't even get silvers because like I'm not very good at getting them. So
yeah, I'm not that good at getting them either. But actually, I don't like getting them with the old portal and then die method, because that's what I do. That's the only way I know how to. I don't like doing that. I think that loses too much time compared to how much silvers would save, especially not having practiced all of the silver strats. So, I wouldn't normally want to get them, but maybe in this case it would make it worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how much like race backups and everything you practiced. So, and I know you got your like 3 tournaments. So, which is impressive, just being able to do all this stuff.
I would have liked to push this to where I could be more competitive at this level, and I think I could have, but I just didn't have time. I've been trying to do runs here and there to like get to the 112 range, and I have all the pieces there, and just none of them will ever come together. I just can't put the time in.
Yeah, it's definitely this run.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, since
unless
I got my. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just like unless I play this like every day, for a couple weeks, which is kind of what I was doing at the start of the tournament. It's how I got down to this time. But unless I play it that consistently, like now, I'm gonna lose like 10, 20 seconds every segment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
what
I
it
mean-
feels like with my run now. It's, I don't have any really big tricks left to get big chunks of time left. So it's just, it's either lose seconds every split or have a great run and be just about even, but maybe get good blue balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell me about it.
Speaking of tricks or whatever, I don't know if it actually saves anything. Had you practiced much of the Doom Tap meme?
Oh
Azder?
yeah.
Or
I tried it once today, and I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then what was dumb was going into swamp because like
Yeah,
I wasn't
not
familiar
mirroring,
with the movement. I was so upset that I did that because that basically ruins it because swamp is a dungeon entrance.
yeah.
So it resets your camera the way that the dam entrance wouldn't. So I was like, oh fuck.
Mhm. It was still fun to see because we were like half joking about anybody going for it, and then you just whip it out right as we were talking.
Yeah, I was like, so I actually learned it like literally just before the race. I was practicing Mire exit because I've been messing it up lately, and then I thought I'd try it for fun. And I was like, oh, you're just like 2 pixels away from where you need to be, so you just do one buffer right, and then you do it. And I was like, oh, this actually isn't bad, but I don't think that's really gonna help me, so I probably won't do it. But then I saw mentions of it coming up in chat, and I was just like, no, I gotta do it.
I was gonna say I don't have anything else to comment on. Did you have anything else that you wanted to ask our runners?
No, I was just like as you're saying, like he wants to would have wanted to put a little more time in there. I mean, he did really well in this tournament. I mean, if you look at the names that are left, it's just it's a murderer's row of people that are left. I think like pretty much everyone is left. I think maybe ACM doesn't have one, but everyone left has at least a 112. Like obviously you have the skill to get one of those too. But yeah, it's just all the stuff you did. I mean, you had a really good run. I think maybe you've wanted one more run, but just you ran into Kaz, just got a great time. So just didn't quite fall your way. But yeah, we're glad to have you. Hope you had a good time during this. Kaz, good luck to you on your next round. Probably see you or Ham shortly.
Yeah, man, good game.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, with that, we can kick it over to George to finish us off.
I should probably do on my mic if I start talking. I've done that before. But yeah, thank you for making this beautiful restream possible as usual. It's a beautiful commentary as usual. Commentary is absolutely nailing, explaining it in very, very easy to understand terms like casting the material well. So thank you for Epaphinak and Coastler, just shout outs as well as obviously Azder and Caznode, the runners, for making this possible. While we're ending here, I do want to quickly say that in 30 minutes roughly, on the hour, we will have another All Dungeons Tournament match coming up. We will have Chex Human facing off against ACM LM in the same round, in the losers bracket round 2. So that will start on the hour in about 30 minutes. We will not be going on a 30-minute countdown. We will be cutting the stream here. I've been told to do that, so we will be back before that, and we will be bringing you that match. And we also have a bunch of cool stuff coming up tomorrow and over the weekend. Tomorrow we have the Subgoal reward where Tress will play Link's crossbow training in virtual reality. So don't forget to tune in for that. That's going to be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And on Friday we've got the grand finals of the Ocarina of Time Multi-World 3 vs 3 tournament. And it will be Richard the Dog facing of his Duke fan club. That will be game 1. I believe it's just going to be game 1, and a potential game 2 will be scheduled later if need be. And on Sunday we've got our Max Random Blitz Logic Race and Ocarina of Time randomizer as well. That's sort of like a little bit of a collaboration with the main Ocarina of Time Discord. and that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Central European Summer Time, and that's on Sunday. And while we're here, I do want to quickly also mention we're only 16 subs away from our next sub goal, which is going to be Tress playing Breath of the Wild 100%. So if you want to see that, if you want to see Tress stream on this channel for like 20 hours or 30, who knows how long that's going to take, then do consider subscribing or gifting subs to the community. As a reminder, we are funded by your generous subs and gifts, so it wouldn't be possible without you, the viewers, making all these broadcasts possible. Servers do cost money after all, so thank you so much for your continued support. I don't think any CSR staff member can believe we're almost at 1,000 subs. That's actually ridiculous, so thank you all for making this possible. But yeah, with that being said, I think I'm done plugging here, and I always end my show like this. I like to have the commentators the last word, so you two. Stage is yours.
Shoutouts to Bon Appetit Test Kitchen for getting me through this tough time.
Jeez, yeah. Just everyone come back, watch the other match. It's gonna be a good one.